Release District.
Agbaya, 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 Agbaya.
Cheese, come on, live in the flesh.
In the flesh, we are live.
It's the Agbaya show.
Make sure you like and subscribe.
Come on, man, episode 32. You're tuned in with Damo.
And J Jules.
Remington the vibe.
What you man saying, man? Come on, man. Come
Bless,
on,
bro.
Cheese,
My Jenny.
Cheese. Nah, not you, bro. Not you. we ain't introduced the guest yet. You know there was there, but nah, man likes that. But nah, come on, man. What you man saying, man? What's the week been saying, fam?
Yeah, the week's been alright still.
Yeah.
What you say, Remington?
Yeah, it's been alright. I'm moving crib.
swear.
I'm going from the east side to the south, back to the south side. Well, I don't know.
Jeez.
It's Croydon south side, would you say?
Croydon.
It's south,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
south,
yeah,
it's
south,
south.
innit?
Yeah.
Ain't got the southeast
Don't want no
postcode, but it's
smoke.
still,
Yeah,
still south,
But
south.
you know what it is about Croydon, yeah? I just know that they've got peng things there, bro. Some sweet
you
girls
need
there.
No care.
Yeah, okay.
Fat
You
bomb.
these things.
Oh.
Big mellow.
Big
melon.
melons.
Yeah, you get me, but you get
Big
me.
Nash. Don't die
Big,
for
yeah,
it, though.
don't die for it.
Don't die for
Sometimes you might have to die, but as long as they resurrect you.
it. Yeah. Gulag.
You know the gulag.
Gulag zone, bro.
Gulag. But nah, come on, man. You know what? Yeah, today's a special day. You know why? Because we got the bro in the house today.
Oh, come on.
And with this guest here, yeah, one thing I respect what he's doing is that he's really bringing out the creative side in him. You see, and I fuck with that, especially with the talks I've had with him before, like in the build up to the episode. You see, that's what I respect. That I said I had to bring this guy on, innit?
Yeah.
Obviously, man has to bring the boy himself. You get me, Alaric, aka Stack Alberto. AKA Tales of a Lonely Wanderer.
Hey.
Come on. Wagwan, my guy.
Hey, what's going on? What's going on? Love,
Now
bro.
he's
Love,
mad. You get me? Come on.
Nah, it's good. I appreciate all of you. Man.
Yeah, no, thank you for coming, man. Obviously, you got to tell the people you know who you are, where you're from, what you do, and that. Let them know.
So what's going on? My name's Alaric Pillay. I'm officially going to be an author. I believe I see myself as a true artist. I'm from Zimbabwe.
Jeez.
Come on.
I know I look Hispanic.
Bro, I'm a piano setting, bro.
Yeah, that's the vibe.
Yeah.
I live in South London. I'm hoping to truly deliver a masterpiece of work and a piece of literature that's going to stand the test of time.
Oh, jeez.
And I'm hoping to also somewhat speak about people's history and speak about people's history in a positive light. But we'll dive into that in this episode as well.
Okay, no, we
I
like
like that.
No, we like that. Cheese. Come on, man. Thank you for coming on once again, Alaric. You get me? The conversations we had, like, been nothing short of phenomenal. You get me? Like, to be able to hear your side, hear your creative side, and it brings out the younger side in me.
Yeah, it's the first side.
Yeah.
It's like you're getting old now.
You know when I
can
told
see
you.
his grey hairs.
You know when
Man, I'm coming as well, though.
Oh, Bobby, man, I told you that was it Quincy's episode that I wanted to be rapper, yeah. But you know what it is, yeah. Seeing that you thought of a plan, you get me, you stuck with it, and you're going forth, you're full throttling ahead, yeah. I rate that still. You get me? And I love that still. You get me. But obviously, before we dive into, you get me, some special stuff, we're moving on to Agbaya of the week.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let the clip roll as usual. You get me. But this one is nonsense.
This man locked off the F406 for a music video.
It's not us, man.
Because bro, like, let's be real, like, don't get me wrong, yeah. I love talent. You get me? I've just spoken about Alaric, you get me, his creative side. But the thing is, there's a time to be creative.
Yeah.
What happened in that clip? What was she doing?
You got to sacrifice to get the clips, man.
On the
you gotta
motorway.
Yeah, she's looking for that $1 million shot.
In the morning?
Yeah, she's shutting down. She's shutting down the
Shut it
M-way.
M-way.
You get me?
Can you imagine, like, you tell your boss, like, boss man, I'm late. They say, why?
Yeah, man.
Someone doing that music video.
I won't believe
That's it, yeah.
You getting fired on the spot, bro.
Yeah.
It was Stormzy.
Someone's twerking on the A20.
Yeah, it was Stormzy.
Dance moves and
Yeah.
nah, you're having a laugh. You better get out of the way.
Listen, yeah, and the worst thing is, yeah, I know, yeah, I think she's a talented girl. I think she's a good artist. You get me? Like, I don't want to really rubbish her, but that act that you did, I have to rubbish you on that.
Yeah, the act was
Because
silly.
what if somebody was, let's say somebody wanted to conceive, somebody in labour. There's an ambulance in
Oh
that.
yeah, no.
There's
it
an
is.
ambulance in that.
Yeah,
in that
but I'm
traffic.
sure her intentions wasn't that. No, she's just.
Yeah.
The intention
So it
was-
doesn't matter though. Imagine if it's my last day at work and they said, "Oh, you be late again, you're getting fired."
Yeah.
And because of that, I'm
Yeah,
getting
yeah.
fired.
It's a bit
You
deep,
know what I
innit?
mean?
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
she gonna pay your bills?
Yeah.
I either see burnt bum just shaking on the you know me. You know me, I like burnt booty, you get me? So that, don't look at this and say I'm saying that you're burnt.
Sicko.
You know me, I like big
Trust
burnt
me.
bum. But
Uh-huh.
but it's rubbish. No, it's just completely rubbish. Like, come on, you got to think about everybody.
yeah,
You're
yeah,
like,
gotta be
that,
considerate still.
that is it's a crazy selfish act. And the thing is, the only thing I'll say about it, I pray that you go platinum with that record.
Yeah, facts.
You understand?
Facts, yeah,
Man,
facts.
pray, 'cause if you do not go platinum,
Oh yeah.
like,
Waste of
it's,
time, innit?
come on, because there's going to be, I hope not, but there might be a 10 grand
Well,
fine.
so you man won't shut down the M-way if you needed to do something.
No, but there's a time and place. Or she could have done
I'll
it
pattern
late
it a different
evening.
way, innit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's done it early morning.
Yeah, it looks like that was patterned properly.
No, but you know what it is? She's just trying to go viral, isn't it? You know these things. You
Yeah,
don't
that's
let people
the-
No,
speak,
but
innit?
that's what I'm trying to say. Let's
I
say
hear
you-
that bit. Yeah, I do hear that.
if
You reckon it's not worth the viral?
The viral
Well,
moment.
now everyone's seen it a little bit because of the video, so I guess
That's what I'm trying to
it's
say.
worked
We're
in a
talking
whole
about
way,
it, like,
marketing wise.
Yeah,
Yeah.
marketing wise, it worked, but when the video finally comes out, and if we're looking at the video and
And it's
saying,
like, it's not the.
This is
It's
not it.
Yeah, the
You
shot
see?
phone.
Yeah.
There's-
It won't bust how you wanted to.
Yeah.
The quality of work has to be top
Yeah.
But it's
tier.
a risk though. She's never gonna know, so she probably had to do that to even.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
mean,
yeah,
so-
yeah,
And you might get one metropolitan letter in the mail saying
No, that's for sure. That's Gara. We living in London.
10K fine.
That's
Yeah,
guaranteed.
yeah,
10K,
That's
bro.
me.
Oh, is it a fan? It's a young.
It has to be. It has to be a fine. It
if
has
you're
to be a
stopping,
fine.
Yeah, if you're stopping.
You know, you have to deep it, yeah. Like, had nobody, if social media wasn't around, none of them, like, there would be no fine. But the fact is, so many people are recording.
And they know who she is.
They know who she is. You see what I'm trying to say?
Got the
And
plates.
you know, there's always going to be somebody there, yeah, that's going to take it to another level of complaint.
So would you guys do the same thing if you're let's say your manager or your music video manager was like, no, we got to do a video on the M-way or we got to block off all the traffic? What are you telling me?
Bro, man going on the M-way. You're like,
That's
I'll
it
be
then.
real.
Damn.
Agbaya, but it's one of them ones, yeah. Man's going on the M-way, but we have to be calculated. We have to make sure that video has to blow. If it doesn't,
Yeah, it has to be a Drake feature.
has to
I ain't
be-
risking it.
Bro, if it doesn't blow,
I ain't
fam.
ri-
I'm not gonna lie, yeah, if I was there, I saw it. I'll be enjoying.
Yeah, I ain't
What,
risking it.
Yeah.
2,000 views. Bro, 2,000 views for what?
It's not worth it.
It's not
10K
worth it.
fine. It
No,
won't
it's
be
a
worth it.
Drake feature. I'm going all out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
that
going
makes
all out.
sense.
I'm going all out.
But Drake feature you're going platform anyways.
Yeah, yeah,
you don't need to do that. You don't need to do that.
Yeah, but they got to remember it as well. Hey, remember that time my man shut down the
Yeah, the
M-way,
M-way for
yeah?
that.
All right, cool. Say nothing.
Come on.
No facts.
Listen, Abigail, Asante,
Yeah.
you are,
Agbaya
unfortunately,
of
you
the
are the
week.
Agbaya of the week.
Agbaya.
Agbaya. Where's the uncle? Where's the slap? And that slap is dirty.
Have you seen it? And the dust is.
Dust
What
is-
is it? I don't even know the flipping.
It's just foolishness,
Yeah.
bro. But you know what? Obviously, we're moving on, and you get me. We've got an exciting topic today. You get me? Tales of a Lonely Wanderer.
That's it.
You see, you know, I wish that I met him earlier because I would have told him to make story about me. Because tales of a horny somebody.
That's a horny warrior.
Horny warrior, fam.
warrior.
You know there was, you know, all the people around me would be big yash.
Yeah.
And somewhat of melon.
Some of the Venus, some of the I see.
This guy is telling us what categories he types and
Oh,
that.
sir, late night.
Yeah.
Log into the
Yeah. He's gonna look for the new one.
What, Sarah J and everything there? I don't know who that is, though.
Hey, come on. Mariah Mills and that. Bro. You people start watching porn. Focus on your studies. Make sure you like and subscribe. But yeah, nah, bro. Like, talk to us about your book. That's your upcoming book that you're releasing.
So it's been a long process. It's a series of books.
Yes.
The series is called Tales of a Lonely Wanderer. The first installment is Tales of a Lonely Wanderer, a true Greek love story.
Okay, cheese.
Hey,
Come on.
the
So
girl
the-
them strawberry daiquiris is it? Yeah.
So the theme of the book is about a vampire's lived the test of time. He's writing his life memoirs present day. So he's it's from a perspective of today's time. The first story he starts to tell is from ancient Greece, 341, just after Alexander the Great died. So there's a lot of distress in Greece at the time. There's a lot of tension and atmosphere because there's a power battle between humans, gods. In the story, I've enlisted a lot of Greek gods. I'm a big history fan as well, so I've tried to use some of my somewhat knowledge to because it's a fictional story, but some of it's factual as well.
Yeah.
So in the time he's been alive for 100 years or so, he's kind of lost. He's a great warrior at the time. He's had a lot of fun. He's been with He's had one or two double dabbles with some of the greatest females of his time. He was with Cleopatra from Greece.
Oh,
he,
Cleopatra.
so he
God
the braids.
That was a sweet one, you know.
Hey.
Sweet one.
Look, sorry to cut you off. I know Cleopatra has big bunda. as
Oh,
well,
yeah,
man. You get me? Yeah,
Man,
Make sure you draw that bunda.
There's a certain bit. If the legend and stories were true, Cleopatra was the first one to actually make toys in the bedroom. She made that toy
Shout out
after
to
her
you.
experience with Cairo. So that
go.
character was getting busy. So he,
That's it.
yeah.
He's
You want some game? I hope you're listening.
Greek mythology sounds like Greek porn.
Hey.
But carry on.
So it's got different. So at the time, it's been alive for 100 years or so. So and he at the time he doesn't remember how he was turned into a vampire, so he's a bit lost.
Okay.
He meets a young lady who kind of gives him a purpose. At the time, he's got a
In
maximum.
what way? Like that purpose? Like, oh, I can be with this person. We can create a family, or
She gives him a purpose in life. So it's the first time in his life where he's ever had like a reason to want to go home, a reason to want to keep living. Throughout the first 100 years, I would imagine the first 20, 30 years will be fun. Once everybody's starting to die around you, and because he's been in so many battles, he went to war with Hercules. He fought the Trojan War. Once everybody, all your friends keep dying and passing away, and you're just alive, there's only there's only so much you can you can really do, isn't it?
You know, yeah, sorry to cut you off again. Yeah.
You okay?
You know what this reminds me of? I don't know if you man has played this game or people out there.
God of War.
God of War.
So in a lot of sense, my book covers so many different topics because I touch on a lot of historical topics.
Yeah.
I touch on and I've tried to make so many speaking points. So for example, once multiple people read the book, there'll be interesting conversations they can have from a relationship perspective to is this right in terms of a family, the relationship between father and a daughter, relationships in what you believe. So it's there's so many points which I think will be interesting reading points. And what I've also tried to do. He fought in the Trojan War with Memnon and Achilles. Memnon's one of the greatest warriors come from Ethiopia.
Yeah.
That's a part of history that barely gets mentioned. I don't know if everybody's watched Troy.
yeah.
The history of Troy, people make out like Achilles v Hector was the greatest fight. That's not true. The greatest fight was Achilles v Memnon.
Okay.
Though that fight is the fight that was a premier fight. That was like Floyd Mayweather Pacquiao. That was the whichever Tyson,
Whatever
whoever you want to
yeah,
say.
yeah,
that was the that was a
yeah.
fight. AJ v
We don't have to mention
Tyson.
Okay.
No,
I
AJ.
apologize.
Yeah.
Shout out to AJ.
Shout out AJ, yeah.
But-
Shout out to
my
AJ,
guy.
but we don't have to mention him.
But whichever premier fight you want to say, that was the premier fight. But I just want to I want to make sure I can speak about our history and speak about history in positive light. So throughout the hundreds, he meets a girl, falls in love, he gets a new purpose. Zeus enlists him on a mission because there's a battle with a lot of the Greek gods at the time. The way mythology is set out, if whoever people worship more, they gain more power. So all the gods are technically trying to overthrow Zeus to become the head throne of Olympus, right? But of course, you can't try to overthrow Zeus out in the open because it's
Come on,
it's
big guy.
The big man, the big
that's-
god, yeah.
That's it. That's exactly it. So Zeus enlisted him on a mission to try to find out what gods are being sneaky, and Zeus put out a law at the time that gods can't interfere with human lives. So human lives would enlist other people, such as that's where all like the mystical creatures come from and so on. The gods would go to them and get them to try and to put in place in the city. Yeah, exactly. So in hopes that the city would kind of worship them so they can gain more power. So Zeus enlists him on a mission with his best friend, who's a werewolf, Gonzalo. Gonzalo's from an African tribe, is one of the greatest warriors. He trained with Memnon. So I'm hoping to dive into that story as well. I kind of start the war between vampires and werewolves.
So you're gonna have like
Subplot twists.
subplots as well. So you're gonna have different type of things that lead off in different.
And I think one thing that was mentioned as well, like you're gonna have times where maybe one part of the book may show the future, then it
From a writer's perspective, that was really difficult because I'm writing in so many different in so many different styles. Because I'm writing first person, third person. Because I'm writing as if the person's you're telling the story now, but at the same time, you're telling the story when you're there, and you're also given a a narration of what your thoughts were at the time and what your thoughts are now. So, for example, if I'm telling a story, something happened, and then at the same time, I'm like, shit, I knew that's going to be the last time I see this person.
Yeah.
So the style of to actually write that and to have that readable for readers is
what came
difficult.
into your mind though? Why did you do a story like this?
Bro, that's what I'm thinking, because you know what it is, yeah? I'll be honest, yeah? Like, as you're just explaining the story, it's like my mind is just putting the pieces together. I'm already, bro, before you even release the book here, I'm already waiting for the series to come out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, bro, and like, I want to say this now, like, even as you're talking about it, I see a future Stan Lee.
no.
He's a new Stan Lee.
see that, I
But
see
in
that.
terms of the Greek mythology and all of that
side
kind
of
of stuff,
stuff,
you understand? So, bro, keep it up, but carry on. What made you think about?
So it's super interesting because I've been writing for like about 7-8 years, right? And the first book I started writing was called Greek times. It was called Inside the Mind of a Gladiator. But that book and the
Guy, you want to fight somebody?
do you know what's funny? In those times, you could be remembered because you can go to war and be a regular soldier, be a great fighter, and your name be remembered throughout history. Who you guys can't even name any soldiers. Through any army now times, you can't name nobody.
Not the soldiers from my ends, man.
But you know what I mean?
The only soldier I know is is it Leonidas?
Leonidas.
Look at this. Look at this one trying to show.
You don't know.
No, but when you go through history, like that's the only time soldiers could actually become great warriors. So in those times, and probably up until Viking times, maybe a bit longer, because Viking times you got Ragnar, Ivar the Boneless, and there's a couple other great warriors of the time who's remembered. So I've always had a great fascination with history. So in amongst that time, I think that's why that time period is my favorite time period. And I don't think there's ever been anything to really uplift our background in terms of coming from ancient Egypt, Babylon, Alexander's library. People say that was the greatest library in history. People say that city, if you, like, for example, Black Panther, the first Black Panther, right?
Yep.
Babylon was like Wakanda in those times, where the city was built up to the max. It would have been like going to Dubai in those times. Whereas like the city is like, oh my lord. But throughout history, people make our history, like the African heritage, into mud huts. I really want to change that narrative, and I don't only want us to always talk about slavery and so on. I really want to change the narrative and have positive lights on what our history
It's
was.
not only about the book and the characters; it's about the meaning behind it and a lot of other stuff.
And I like that, because what he said is not just all about slavery. And one thing I'm tired of hearing and watching is slavery films. Like, there's so much more to our
culture, history.
You know what I mean? The fact that he said Alexander's library, like, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't even know. You understand? And these sort of things are things that just enlighten me, and these are just the type of things I want to hear. So just even you coming on and talk about your book and it's releasing, I'm definitely making sure I'm copying one. Make sure you copy it as well, you know, because it's one of them ones. This is only the start to something great.
God willing.
You understand? And the fact that, bro, I told you, you're the new Stan Lee. Yeah.
I'm hoping.
Before you know it, 2 weeks later, bro, somebody's telling you they want to make a movie out of this, a TV series and all of that. So it's just like, it's an interesting one, because I still want to know, like, obviously you got a history, like you got a love for history and all of that. But what gave you that love?
So
what made you want to just?
It's probably my. Do you know what? I think my love of history comes from my grandfather. So I was born in Zimbabwe. I lived in Zimbabwe until I was 7, right?
Yeah.
And
So you speak the mother tongue and none of that.
Do you know what? Don't hate me. Don't hate me. I wasn't taught, because we speak Shona and Ndebele.
Okay.
I wasn't taught Shona and Ndebele. I just grew up speaking English. And at the time we was a decent family. So I was I just wasn't taught Shona and Ndebele, unfortunately.
So you wasn't there. Bro, if I was speaking Shona, bro, I'll be out there grabbing the yash.
This guy's
Everything. Have you been to Zimbabwe though?
Yeah. I was born. I go back.
You go back there.
I go to South Africa because there's been a lot of turmoil with Sims. So I go. Most of my family migrate over to South Africa. So I go south. I've been south, and I go Joburg's parties.
Is it a wild one?
I say this all the time. If you want to go to Miami, but Miami's too expensive, go Durban. Durban's like a mini Miami.
It goes off.
You'll have fun in Durban. When I say you'll have fun in Durban, trust me, you'll have fun in Durban.
Bombs that will be.
It's got his own mind. Yeah.
That's all I'll say. But take a little group with the mandem, take a trip out to Durban. Your mini mansion dirt cheap.
When we got in Durban.
Aye, Durban. Aye,
Jay, when we got in Durban.
Durban, yeah.
aye, to all the ladies in Durban, the
Anyway,
Agbaya show is coming.
There's the Durban ambassador. So.
Durban
No, but
You know?
I won't lie. Like South is super fun. But my grandfather. Like Africans, we always tell a lot of stories, right?
Yeah.
And I believe we're probably some of the greatest storytellers in history, right? So that's I just grew up in and amongst like my grandfather telling me stories. I remember like, we went to Victoria Falls, right? And obviously it's raining. Victoria Falls is amazing, super beautiful. There's a rainbow and it's raining, right? My grandfather looks at me, pulls me to the side. He says, Alaric, you know, every time it's raining, it's a monkey's wedding. Like every time it rains, and there's a rainbow, it's a monkey's wedding. Like our stories are just like you just can't beat our stories, innit?
Our stories, bro. You can't beat it, man.
It's just I like the art. So I think I've always had a great love for the art of storytelling. First, it was movies. So it's funny you said like Stan Lee. I had like a love of movies. With writing a book. In my mind, I would love to turn it into a play. I'd love to turn it into a series.
Yeah.
So there's so many different formats and formulas I can go down.
Yeah.
It's just creating the series first and having an amazing story which people want to continuously keep buying into and keep diving into the story and keep going deeper and deeper and
What would
deeper.
you say, like, as a young, you say you've been writing for like 7 years, yeah?
Yeah.
What would you say as like a new writer or a young writer coming into the game? What would you say it's a good thing for them to do? Or like,
Do you know?
or some sort of advice you would have someone would have given you like 7 years ago or 6 years ago?
You know, for me, a lot of my writing has been like true feelings, right? So it's the first book, Tales of the Wonder, a true Greek love story. It's a love story as well.
Yeah.
So a lot of the feelings are raw emotion, like real feeling. And a lot of times, most people don't go see therapists and so on and so on. So your feelings are always pent up. So for me, it's like it's an amazing outlet to be able to kind of write about feelings and kind of it's almost like therapeutical.
Yeah.
The one thing I would say to people, do as much research as you can. Look at different storytellers. There's a formula for telling stories and having stories successful, right? If you look at most stories, such as like Star Wars and so on, there's a theme in all those storylines, right?
Yeah.
And they all break down the same way.
Yeah.
So if once you get to understand that, and you can
just go around it and
For example, when you take Luke Skywalker, right? Yeah. So he learns his father. He learns his father was a Jedi. He starts training, right?
Yeah.
He goes. He fights Vader in the 5th one. He loses, right? Yeah. Comes back, fights Vader, and he beats Vader in the end, right?
Yeah.
Most movies and so on, and most stories, that's how they always start. So you learn. You kind of start training, but you leave training a bit early. You lose the fight. Go back to training. Come back and beat him. There's always like a formula. It's almost like a recipe, right?
Yeah.
It's the same. It's like giving a recipe, but it's learning to understand how to write and how to write stories which people can read and relate to.
Yeah.
Things which I've written a lot of Easter eggs in the first book. I'm hoping there'll be talking points for people as later on. Even writing Easter eggs was super difficult because it's learning a new process, and I'm writing Easter eggs for future books. So it's it's a hard process, but I'm hoping. To me, that's like a super dope experience. I would love to see like. In my mind, I'm thinking about the small victories. So if I'm on the train and I see somebody with my book and they read in my train, I'll probably burst into tears. I'll probably be like,
Would you say anything?
yeah, I'll probably sit next to them. Hey, what do you think about this book, man? It's trash. It's what? It's what? You mother
Trash?
But you know what? Yeah, tell us one of your favorite characters that you must have like a favorite one or two characters that you probably like the most in the book that you've written.
So for me, I love Gonzalo.
Yeah.
Gonzalo's obviously a werewolf who I touched on from a tribe in Africa. I do want to do a spin-off on Gonzalo's own story.
Yeah.
Got Gonzalo's like I think he's an
You got to
amazing
send us
character.
pictures or something so we can pull it up.
that's what I do.
He sent me the pictures still, so I'm gonna be definitely putting it up.
So I think Gonzalo's an amazing character. Kai, and then the main character Cairo. Cairo's background story is also amazing. He's been through so much, and he loves with such like he's got such a big heart, and you really see a change in the character and the person. So from the first book, second, third book, the change in the character, the character development. I've spent a lot of time developing the character. That's one thing I'm so excited about for people to like.
You hear that? You
to
hear
read
that?
and grow with it.
He's excited about it. You lot better be excited because I want to read this book now.
What have you got enough time, man? For like a 2 lines or like 3 lines? You got?
I can give it a little. Let me give it a
got
little
enough time?
open introduction.
Yeah.
So let me give a little open introduction. This is kind of like English class. You know when they say, Ken,
I'm not reading.
can you read that?
I wasn't reading.
No, I'll read that.
Make sure
It's all right.
stand up and read it.
Yeah, no, I'll read that. So this is the opening paragraph, right?
Yeah.
As I start writing my life memoir, I look and start to recall conversation with some of the greatest minds history has ever known. From Abraham Lincoln telling me to live a full life, but always carry myself with morals and principles.
Jeez.
To Homer's Iliad, the greatest writer in history, telling me how to perfectly write a poem. I'm not expecting to write something as great as Homer's epic Iliad Trojan war story, even if I was the one who told him most of the accounts from the epic battle. I might not be as great as William Shakespeare with my words, or Sean Carter, better known as Jay-Z. But I hope that whoever reads my memoirs finds inspiration and a moment of clarity. I think back to watching Genghis Khan's daughter, Kulatana, refusing her father's marriage proposals, instead counter-offering him with the competition to win her hand in marriage. She wouldn't, however, trust no man with her choice. Instead, she would wrestle the men herself to win her hand in marriage of proposal. Wrestling over 1,000 men and having victory over all of them. I have never seen
1,000 people.
1,000 men. I had never seen a woman such as her. Her strength, integrity, and beauty were unmatched. She truly would be a hero in modern day society, fighting for the feminist rights. So I think.
So what? 100?
Hey, no. Hey, Alaric, you gotta jump in the click. You gotta click.
Yeah.
Come on.
Let's go.
You're saying what? 1,000 men went to fight this woman for a hand in marriage, and all of them lost the battle.
She beat 1,000 men.
Yeah,
So
that's still going on today, bro. These girls got 1,000 likes and still single.
Still single, bro. Couple man need to have. You get me? Need to be
No shade. Listen, I don't want no trouble, please.
But no, that's sick. But I want to round up with this question
That's mad.
here because I know that you spoke about werewolves, vampires.
yeah.
If you could choose to be one,
Ooh,
would you
interesting.
be?
Me, I'll probably choose. I'll probably choose a werewolf. I think werewolves have a little bit more power, and yeah, I'll probably choose a werewolf. Oh, by the way, I'm going to be self-published on Amazon as well.
Jeez, come on.
So everybody just show some love and support. Self-published on Amazon.
come on, link will be in the link below.
You already know the vibes.
I'm hoping for November 21st date on the Monday. So we'll go from there.
November 21st. Come on, man. What about you, man? Them. What would you be? Vampire, werewolf?
I'll be a werewolf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How come?
Vampire Diaries, man. I watched that stuff. The werewolves are cold.
Yeah.
But what about? How about you?
Werewolf, what? Yeah, 'cause I watched Twilight, innit?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the werewolves. Oh, yeah, Jacob. Yeah.
You know, it's one of them ones. Yeah, I want to be a vampire. You know why?
Why?
You know where? I like werewolf. Yeah, but I feel like once you turn into a wolf, yeah, your mind is gone.
Yeah, a lot of people can't control it. There's so many
control.
different theories.
You might be looking at your girl, but you might start chewing on her arm.
Yeah, I don't know. You see what it is with that vampire shit? It's just.
It's the blood as well, man. I don't like blood,
man.
bro.
No, but
you got to drink blood like to live.
Yeah, bro.
But what, as a vampire, what can you do though?
Bruv, you
Like, you do everything. Multiple powers. Control mind,
Control.
fly, transform.
Bruv.
Vampires.
Yeah.
You know me? I'll be.
Nah, you
bruv,
know,
I'll be
werewolves are
sucking
just cool,
blood.
man.
I'll be.
Yeah, same.
Climbing the mountains and
And I feel like
jumping around.
I feel like if you're with a girl and like you want to stunt a bit, if you're a vampire, you're like just show your teeth.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah,
yeah,
bro,
yeah.
like you're what?
Yeah.
You rip that shit off.
See that hair on my chest?
Bruv, so a werewolf is fucking human being, fam. A bestiality, but you know, vampire me, I'll be sucking the blood from the breast, bro. You know?
Little killer.
But with that being said, Alaric,
That's it.
bruv,
Over and out.
come on, man. It's been love bringing you on this show.
Nah, I
Like,
appreciate.
Tales of a Lonely Wanderer, November 21st.
November 21st, Tales of a Lonely Wanderer, a true Greek love story. On Instagram as well, Tales of a Lonely Wanderer. Everybody follow, and I'm just looking forward to everybody reading the book, and hopefully it's truly something amazing.
Yeah, bro.
Heard it first here.
You heard it first here. I can't wait for it to come out. Like just hearing it now, yeah, man. Like I gotta grab that book.
Same.
But my guys, come on, man. We're rounding up, man.
Masky.
Come on, man. Make sure you like and subscribe.
Yeah,
We're
yeah,
out.
You know the vibe. Come on.